Alrighty, there we go with that. Well, I didn't turn on the starting soon screen, so I guess it's somewhat useless for me to do that now. So let's not. Let me share this bad boy. Yes. Where's the... Hey, welcome, Masked Blue Knight. We'll link this. Yes. Thank you for your excitement for the stream. Appreciate that. Gonna have a good time reading this one. Yeah, that tends to be how it is on break months. I can call you Zeno. Okay, yeah. I tend to use people's YouTube names, because just in case anyone, is watching this who's kind of unfamiliar with, with me or with, who's not on the Discord, for instance. I usually refer to people by YouTube names, but I can do that. But yeah, I knew when this chapter came out, especially since it was a break, we learned it was a break, I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to do this until, like, after a week, or, like, a couple weeks after release. Because, yeah, I tend to be lazier with the stream on break months. But, that's not really, that doesn't have much to do with, like, the quality of the chapter. Like, I don't know. This is I've always kind of said this is just a hobby for me. It's something I really enjoy doing. But, yeah, there's right now MBK. All right. I can do that. Yeah. Right now, there's no reason, not necessarily any reason to be super, super close to when the chapter releases. Like, it's not as if I'm going to lose viewers, So, yeah, I've been good since the last stream. I've been doing a lot more reading, which I like a lot. I loved getting back into that. I was a huge reader in middle school and high school. Dropped off a little during college, and now I'm doing it more again. I kind of forgot the chapter. Okay, well, yeah, that's probably a good thing. We'll re-experience it. Right now I'm reading a book called Xenocide, which is the third book in the core Ender saga by Orson Scott Card. Which starts with Ender's Game, which is a very well-known book. And really unique books. Card is a really unique writer. Unfortunately, he's a pretty weird guy in real life. Some of his opinions are very, very hard to agree with, and because of that, I tend to buy the books used. So I'm not, directly supporting him, but I really do respect the writing and really enjoy the books. For what they are. So I'm almost done with that one. After that, I think I'm going to get to some more Sherlock Holmes stories, because I've been going through those. And then after that, I think we'll just continue on with that series. I only have one book left in, like, the main group of 4 books, but there's a lot more. There's, like, I don't know how many. There's like, probably over 15 books in that universe in total, so I could eventually read a lot of those, but not sure how good some of those more recent ones are supposed to be. And yeah, I got back into Death Stranding 2 in a big way since the PC version released, and they updated the PS5 version to coincide with that. So I've been really enjoying getting back into that. And I've been continuing to play Fortnite with friends pretty regularly. And because of that, I've been watching less movies and less TV. Movies are kind of like I consider almost my main thing, except I really probably am more of a gamer in terms of the actual time spent. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I've been up to. No, it's hard to get stranded in Death Stranding. We're not the stranded ones. The stranded ones in Death Stranding are the ghosts, the ghosts that try to grab you and kill you. All right, so we can get on with this chapter. Chapter 38. You can follow along on MangaDex. Try to put this little here. Okay. So last we left off, they were storming the gates of Bamfro Castle. Braga was on top, fighting the Mooks, the lowest of the low, with Coral Q and Contrame, and they encountered Coral Q's old traitor friends. I have played Peak MBK. I have played it. Peak is pretty fun. It's a little annoying when you're not good at it, but if you can really coordinate well with your friends and you know what you're doing, then it's fun. And then on the lower level, kind of in the basement, Zatch and Tia and Belgium EO, was it just them? Were facing these two very interesting, mysterious cards who are guarding this room full of spell vials, which primarily includes two that they want to get, which are, I think, Contrame's dad's Poruk, and then now we've learned Patty's vial as well. So here we have them reacting to this weird apparition of Patty that has come up. Mama Patty spells, huh? So these are what you wouldn't stop screaming about. Not bad at all. This girl's tough as nails. So that's what we saw her say last chapter. You look terrified. That was all it took to fill you with fear. Could this really be the first time any of you have seen a spell vial dish out more than 100% of its power? You know, all the other times we've seen people use those bottles, the spell's power was weaker than usual. I guess that's true. You wouldn't believe how much effort it's taking to maintain this thing behind me. So yeah, this thing behind her, which is pretty similar to a JoJo stand, has not like coalesced fully into a form where like it's all detailed like the left arm is. The left arm right now is the only thing that's like fully there. The rest is this weird biological mass that resembles, I mentioned last time, it resembles how the manga artist One draws things a lot of the time. Kimaru, behind that witch, can you see that faint phantom over there that kind of looks like Patty? Yeah, I see it. Call it a hunch, but maybe that witch is going out of her way to imitate the source of Patty's magic somehow? If that witch can really copy Patty's magic at full power, then this could be a disaster for us. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit here. No, it won't let me on this. I have to do it for like each page. Okay. Kimaru, you remember how Patty used to wear a bracelet on her wrist? It was the water dragon bracelet that's been passed down through her family for generations. We're getting some lore. Patty ended up fulfilling the contract for that bracelet, so the water dragon blessed her, strengthening her body and powering up her magic. She gained the water dragon's power? What it seeks is real talent, the kind of natural skills that would make the water dragon deem you worthy. And Patty had just what it was looking for. Okay, so this is interesting. This is kind of an explanation for why Patty's spells are so strong, even against the powered-up team. But it's also a big kind of parallel to what Zatch and Kyo are trying to do right now with the Thunder Dragon. They're trying to gain its approval and have it deem them worthy. Another thing about on this page, the witch that they referred to at the end of the last chapter is just the person they're fighting. It's not the witch who we saw previously, which is kind of what a lot of people assume because she had helped the previous team out with some like magical technology. But it seems like maybe she's not involved in this particular conflict. Give me back my kind mama. I said, give me back my kind and wonderful mama. Ryuzu Reido Kiroro. So I think this was a spell he used against Conchame and Kid. Creates a bunch of like energy blades around that spin around his chair as he goes forward. So she jumps very quickly over as he readies his sword. He slices through the blades super easily. But Tia and Megumi are here. Yeah, the prince's name was Prince Pola, MBK. And he was cool. A lot of people want to see him again. Very cool character design. Masashiro! Ting! Now, I think you see this, you're like, oh, this shield isn't lasting 5 seconds, you know? We're way past that. Fewer shields are broken so far. Masha shield, this isn't gonna last either. We're gonna need to power up. And yeah, he cuts it in half. But it does, it did successfully defend against them for a little bit, right? So she is right behind this spell. She jumped up, and she's about to do point blank on Belgamiyo here. Gigano Acheron! I forget if this was a spell we saw in the first series, just kind of a water blast. Zakeruga! So they're blasting. They're actually kind of in front, or they're from the right side of Belgamiyo. They're trying to blast the spell away. Which it kind of looks like they almost deflect it with the Zakeruga a little bit. But she moves this stand arm, moves up and down, and these tendrils come out from the bottom of the spell and keep heading for Belgamiyo. Dahlia! Yeah! And these hit him. They do some damage to him. They're kind of whipping him, it looks like. Ibareru Zaker! Tioakur! He's just moving around with his sword. Repulsion! So, it looks like so this is the Teoakur that they are trying to repel, and it's a lot of water. It's a pretty crazy looking confluence of effects here. Meanwhile, this guy's slicing up. Belgum's maybe trying to move out of the way. The water explodes. You don't really know what the guy's sword did. And Belgum is kind of knocked back. He's still trying to protect Dahlia. Okay, Gigano Acheron is new. Tia might get a new spell. Yeah, I think that could easily happen this time. She's a part of this fight. We've seen a new spell from Zatch, and then later in this chapter, a new spell from Belgum. So yeah, I think it's pretty likely you'll see Tia get a new spell soon. They really deflected all that. I guess it comes as no surprise. I'm staring down the Demon King. And the King of Ruthless Quips. You can see it almost looks like Kyo seems to react to this in a kind of fourth wall breaking kind of way. He obviously can't hear her thoughts, but I think, he has an odd looking face here. His reputation has spread far and wide amongst the enemies here, that he can destroy you with just the power of his words. This must be what it means to be among the 10 survivors. Was there a mention of a guy without a name? I don't know what you mean by that. The two new villains I think we're about to find out what their names are. But with the level of strength they've shown us so far, it won't take much for Bast and I to finish them off. So that's the name of one of them. So strong, so scary. But I still want to save Mama Patty. If I fight Mama Patty directly, I'd lose for sure. I could get killed. But, I really want to save her too. He starts crying. Belgamiyo! Don't back down. We'll make sure you win in the end. Follow my instructions and let me guide you to victory. You will save her. That's a promise. Patty will come back to life. Kyo motivational speech. Yeah. All right, the good guys are motivated. It looks like this guy Bast is a little motivated too. Get off my lap, Dahlia, and stand back. But if we separate, won't that make it harder to cast spells at the right times? It's too dangerous for... I'm mixing up the lines here. It's too dangerous for me to let loose if you're this close to me. I see. Even while we're apart, I'm sure we'll still be in sync. Like you said before, we were both friends a long time ago. I may not remember you, but this isn't our first gig together. And that gig we had was intense. I think it must have really changed who I am as a person. So this is kind of another nice moment between them. Dahlia showing a little personality. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. She called him a Tsukomi king. Okay, Cuffy called him that as well. Yeah, I read a manga called Shoha Shoten, which was all about manzai comedy. So I'm very aware of what a Tsukomi is. That's interesting. So this scene is cool. It's just a nice scene between them. Apparently, Dahlia very specifically uses the English word gig even in the Japanese version, which is interesting. That's trying to kind of show something about her character that she refers to it that way. I'm not sure exactly what it's showing about her personality or maybe her real occupation. She might do things that are called gigs, but maybe it's just showing that she's cool. Um, but yeah, even though she still doesn't really remember what happened, she kind of implicitly understands that they went through something pretty crazy together. However, this page gives off pretty big loss, at the very least, loss flags. Let's say them having this moment does not make it seem like they're gonna last through this arc. So let's continue. So up top, Brago is walking away from this massive pile of loser bodies. Um, Brago's being surprisingly merciful right now. He's holding back. Even though this battalion of demons has betrayed us and sided with Belial, all Brago's done so far is give them a suitable punishment. So she expected him to, kill some of them or something. No mention of if he does have any specific beef with Bamfro Castle, so it seems like his anger previously was just at having been killed by the people on this side that he had to vent. Ikadoran, I'm your best friend and you tried to blast me? Have you no shame? Forgive me, Doran. I could never forgive you for that, you traitorous demon scourge. Please forgive me, Ikadoran. It's doing a weird kind of dance thing. Ah, I forgive you. Grub is weirdly kind of happy with this. And as for you, Mechaloon, we see Mechaloon is heavily injured, vomiting various mechanical parts. She's in no state to even respond to Coral Q. Okay, I forgive you. Are you okay with pings on Discord? You mean just from the server? I mean, I can't guarantee I'll if you tag me, if I'll be up for whatever you want to tag me for. I'm usually wouldn't be, if anything. So it might be useless to try to ping me to join in on something, but I'm not necessarily against just being pinged, period. Okay, so thank you, Zatch Gamer. So yeah, Coral Q, he's a simple man, a simple robot. He's forgiven his enemies, the traitors already. Hopefully they won't betray us again. But then this mysterious man wakes up. He's already got these blood vessels all around his face that are standing out almost as if he's stressed, but presumably he was just sleeping. He wakes up in a coffin. I would have loved to have done this for the thumbnail. I haven't been able to do any fun thumbnails for the past few chapters because all the ideas I could think of were just too difficult. And this is one of them. There's no way for me to take a picture from above. There was no way for me to lean against a wall and take the picture on my own, especially all my walls are covered with stuff or have stuff in front of them. But I would have done this pose and then drawn a little coffin around myself if I could have. I'd love to get back to the fun thumbnails. I enjoy doing those when I can. So he's, in a coffin. He's sleeping just like a vampire or a mummy with the arms folded. There's a new Mummy movie coming out actually soon where the mummy is a little girl, which is that's going to be interesting. And we can see next to him pretty clearly is Lisa, who's a member of the Zebret brothers who fought Braga. She had a very distinct appearance, and with that big pipe that she has. I don't know what kind of pipe that is, but you only see women using those in media. You never see men using that kind of weird long pipe. Okay. So gets up. Oh, so you're awake. There's a fight going on, isn't there? Zebret number 7. About time you crawled out of bed. This guy is kind of this weird, dumb-looking guy. He's eating chicken. He's scratching his big belly. He's been pretty messed up. He's got a metal plate on his head. All right. You're down a member now. So I guess that makes you Zebrit number 6, doesn't it? This guy glares at him. So from what this guy is saying, it seems like he might not be a Zebrit brother. It's possible that he is, but it's possible that he's not. Pretty probable that he's not as well. Let's get Ponygon in here to do this person. The intruders seem to have split into 2 separate groups. A band of them are holding off the demon traders in the main corridor, and those remaining have their hands full with Day and Bast in the vault of vials. So that's the girl's name is Day. It appears our faction in the main corridor has been wiped out entirely. Hey, where do you get off, serving me this lukewarm swill? Shirk your duties again, and I'll see to it that your entire family suffers dearly for it. I'm so sorry. I'll make you a fresh cup right away. So presumably this is a card who is being mean to, I would guess, a Momodo girl. I would guess this is a demon girl. But Lisa and this guy they don't really react to this too heavily. They don't care. Odosis. Yes, without a doubt. It's exactly who you think it is. Excellent. Brago is here. So yeah, just like Zillion, he knows of Brago and is very interested to fight him. And he seems to sense Brago. Lisa kind of does too, and they're both kind of reacting to that. I think that the fluff in this puppet got, like, rearranged or something. I need to use it more. Still very usable, but... Oh, wow. What should I do? I'm actually going to see him in the flesh. Should I go to him myself? Or would it be better if I forced him to come to me? Maybe I'll try talking to him. I wonder what I should say. So his aura is going crazy. It's even showing on his body itself, on his shoulders and his legs. You can see the aura is just roiling. It's moving around. So yeah, this guy kind of looks similar to Zillion. He's acting a lot like Zillion, and I think he will put up a slightly more of a fight than Zillion, probably. I think Brago obviously will still win, but, pretty much everyone in the sequel, after their initial first fight, we've seen them, struggle in their second fight. We've seen many people struggle in their first fight, but not everyone. Brago did fine, Barry did fine, so I think that we will see him struggle a little in this fight, for sure, against this guy. Brago senses this guy as well. Hey, Brago, apparently there are more demons being held prisoner here than just these guys. So he's kind of talking to another one of these sorry, sad sacks. Okay. Coral Q, are you able to pinpoint the exact location of whoever just emitted that powerful aura? Processing B. Doo-ding, 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 doo-ding. I have it. I don't know. I just have this knot that it's like a rope. I fiddle with a lot of things. I have the silly putty right here. I have have this right here. I think that's all I have on this table, but I have other things elsewhere in the house too. I have a lot of these fidget things, and I have Ponygon. He's right around here. And he's bad news, B. So this is the first time we've seen this. This is useful. Who needs Momon anymore? He has a whole map that he opens up with the Q on his chest. It's coming from the lowest floor of the castle, B. Wait, that's not all, B. If you look real close, you'll see some other traces of magic fading away, too. Fading away, huh? We'll see what that's about. Zatch Gamer says... Oh, so this was the nameless guy you were talking about. Yeah. The page with the rolling aura, like I said, aura followed by the chill going to Brago's spine was awesome. Quite the intro for this new Zebra brother. Fans speculate he might be Amon. Yeah, because that would make sense, because they named all of the Zebri brothers, and they were, summoning... Zillion was, summoning the magic last time. So all of them have names. We've not seen all of them. Amon is a very demonic name, I think. I feel like it's the name of a demon, but I could be wrong. Either way, it sounds demonic. The blue stress ball. Yeah, these are called NEE-DOH, and they're pretty cool. They're like see-through, and you can, you know, mess around with them. Maybe should I just do a full show and tell? I have a lot of stuff here. I have these because I was building one recently. Mario Legos. Some of these that don't really work anymore because they like run out of batteries. And then I have these these used to be in front of my TV, but I think I moved them because I thought they were getting in the way. Maybe I should put them up there. These are Little People, the brand Little People, but see if you can tell which franchise this is. Sorry, I can only see half of my camera feed. And here's the most obvious one. Pretty easy to tell who this is. I have those, and then I have this. I don't know why I have that. I don't know why I still have this here. This is a pre-order bonus for this Peach game. And then I have a lot of other random games and things. I recently got this Death Stranding edition DualSense controller. It has the drawbridge logo on it. And I've been playing a lot of Death Stranding with it. It's kind of all I have right here, looking under the table. But, no, not... Yeah, Skyrim would be a good guess. That's heavily Lord of the Rings inspired. No, it's Lord of the Rings characters. Yeah, you guessed it. But that's all I have on this table. But there's other stuff. There's Legos over there. I could get up and get, but I'm not going to. The stuff over there, too. There's more Legos and trinkets. Okay. So, he said, Coral Q said he saw traces of magic fading away. And yes, indeed, this new Zebret brother has killed 3 of the people from that previous scene. He's killed the fortune teller person who poor Ponygon was playing. He's killed that other dude who was being kind of mean to them. And he killed the tea-serving girl. And presumably behind them is her family. There's this old guy who's trying to hold back this young boy. And she's screaming in pain. And it looks like he's not extending his finger. It looks like he does have some kind of weapon that is maybe... It looks like it kind of still is biological because it's like swirling around his arm, but it's coming from in between his fingers and stabbing her through the shoulder. Brago senses this also, seemingly. His powers aren't nearly as specific as Coral Q's, but he seems like he can do a little bit. Yeah, seems like the prisoners are being kept in the same chamber, so maybe there's some more people in there. Conchime, Coral Q, we're going with Plan D. Sherry and I are going to free the prisoners. The rest of you, just do your jobs. Okay. Yeah, no, it's very Toriyama. Yeah. Similar to Namekian, similar to Frieza, yeah. You know the plan, right? Yeah. Wait for my signal, and I'll give you orders based on our enemy's actions. So they all have earpieces in. Weirdly, there's an author's note saying that they put in earpieces, which, I mean, I would assume from it being called author's note, this probably would have been in the original chapter, right, Zatch Gamer? I assume if it was not an author's note, it probably would not say that. So that's weird that Raikou would have felt the need to specify that, but I don't know. Pretty obvious. Let's go! Okay, cool hero shot. Everyone running at the enemies. Dahlia's holding the book up like a mad woman. Here they come. Why should I stand around and wait for you to be within striking distance? You're such an idiot. Come on, can't we drag this out a little longer? I want to enjoy myself here. Ganzu Gaoryuga! Ashirudo! Putting the shield up. The water shield as Bass just swings his sword around to deflect these blasts. This is another spell we saw previously from Belgamio. Damn you all! God, it really hurts! So, I'm not sure what he's being hurt by here. I think what's happening is he's just blasting through the shield, and that's what's hurting him. Um, Gash and option. What? Did people complain about something with gash and option? Fans are going crazy. Um, because this is not, if you remember how Patty's spells work, her shield does not automatically deflect things. She has another spell that deflects things from the shield, that sends them back out. So I don't think that's what's hurting Belgum. I think it might just be he is breaking through the shield with his body, and that's what's hurting him. Is he trying to ram into me? Yes, just like that. Keep it up. Never back down, Belgamio. Not only do you have a high rate of firepower, but you have exceptional mobility as well. And we know he's very hardy, so he really is a powerful Momodo. Ashirudo! Cast another one. Use that to your advantage and drive her into a corner with a rapid barrage of attacks. Ha! So Day's your target, eh? That was corrected later on for the volume release. Interesting. They didn't like that their eyes were open, eh? I don't think I ever would have noticed that. So we have this funny little rocket booster that comes out of Belgum's chair. Now, did we see him use this? We probably did in the original series when he casted his Dioga spell, which was mostly for just a show. It was just a show of force, the Dioga spell. So yeah, the rocket booster is pretty funny. There's no rhyme or reason to why the chair should have a rocket booster. What? The chair can fly? The guy with the sword can overpower you if he gets in too close. So if you see him approaching, you need to avoid him. Do all that you can to get out of there. Don't let up, and keep your aim solely on the witch. Focus on finding an opening to take Patty's spell bottle. So this is what he was telling Belgamio about the plan. Rah! I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, rah! He's continuing to fire on them with his spell. We barriers a care! Bend! I'm not sure if we've ever seen him say bend before. But he's using the force from We Barriers a Care to bend the spell in a specific way. Nice try. Gariagiakuru. I think this is the same spell she used at the end of the last chapter. Masa Shield! So, Masa Shield did seem to block that spell. So there you go. Duorugiakuru! So this is a different spell that seems to just send these two blasts out from wherever. They're like coming from behind the Masa Shield, which is that's a very, useful thing to just be able to send your spell out from wherever you want. We've seen a lot of spells like this that have the duo, which are just two blasts. Mostly, I think, not mostly, but we've seen, they seem to have different, prefixes, because we've seen Rior Race, which is two races, right? And then we've also seen Rima Shajiru Shashildon, which is Tia's final spell, which is two of her big shields as well. So Tia does something here. She goes, and she breaks Masha's shield herself. It definitely looks like it's actually kind of hard to tell if she's like smashing it or what exactly she's doing. Tell me if you disagree with me. I think she's breaking the spell in half or breaking a part of it off to deflect each thing in the spell at the same time. But there's definitely a possibility that she could simply be moving the spell super fast from side to side to deflect. It's a little hard to tell. Tell me what you think. But she's doing it. We're seeing some cool new skills from Tia. We've seen this a lot in the sequel, that the Momodo, even if they can't get new spells, they have a higher degree of control over the spells that they already have. We saw this with Conchime when he was able to create a pretty complex illusion to hide the train. We saw this with Zatch, where I think he was able to spawn a Rashield he did this, I think, from a specific point in the distance. Okay. Dangaki Tanreus! So this is a really cool spell. Hard to tell how much power this spell has compared to a Gigano or Dioga or Ryustan, but just really cool looking. Another thumbnail I would have loved to do would have been to have a big version of my face coming from the side of the screen, and then a little me to represent Day. But once again, that would have been very difficult and time consuming to make. So yeah, you can see kind of the face with this ghost blast inside its mouth is really a bigger version of Belgum's face, and it's imitating the real Belgum who was behind it. Just a really cool looking spell, sort of make Belgum scary again. You know, that's what we're doing here. I would be pretty scared if I saw this face coming towards me. Right, so you do think she is moving them separately to block the spell. Yeah, it really could. I don't know which one that I would say it is. Have to wait for the anime. So Day is pretty caught off guard by this. Belgum, get back! Here comes Bast. Mama's bottle. It must be that one. I'll take you both down together. He's not listening to me anymore. Gash, use repulsion. We have to make it in time. But for some reason, that guy didn't even budge when he took the brunt of our repulsion technique the last time we exchanged blows. Thumbnail later on. Oh, I don't know if that's really my style. I could give it a shot. I will think about it. I just need to think of them earlier and really try to kind of have the motivation to do them. But I appreciate the thought. Okay, I don't know if it's being offset by the momentum of his charge or what, but the repulsion force isn't working on him at all. If we use it to launch Belgum at just the right moment, will the swordsman still have the reactor speed to catch Belgum with his attack? Did you truly think I'd fall for the same trick twice? And boom! He slices the force from Weeberera Zakir right in half, likely completely neutralizing the spell. And then he leaps up with a powerful slash and slices Belgum's spell in half, and probably slices Belgum EO really badly as well. Belgum screams in pain, and that is where we end the chapter with the show of power from this guy Bast. Who is he? What's his deal? We don't know. We have our page after where Reyes explains the names that they picked. The interesting thing to me about Bast is that it's one of the main gods they worship in Black Panther, in Wakanda. Let me see if it's real. Let's see here. So yes, Bast is an Egyptian god for real. So I would say, if anything, it's somewhat likely that Bast is named after that. So that would make sense for it to be Bast. Let me see something else here. Okay, so yeah, I just figured while I'm at it, I might as well look up Ammon, and yes, Ammon is a demon. So we're getting, names inspired by real demons and gods and things like that. And Belial, I believe, is also similar. It's I don't know if Belial specifically... Right, Belial is similar to Belial. That's it, which is I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right, but that's the real demon name that Belial is inspired by. So there's a bit of a theme going here, I think. Yeah. So how about that? So, yeah, I think Belgum is going to be in a pretty bad way at the beginning of the next chapter, which we still have, 6 weeks before we get. His spell was cut completely in half. This guy's sword seems extremely powerful. And, we just kind of had the death flags earlier in the chapter. And yeah, I think even if he makes it through this fight, I think he's going to be down for the count for this fight. I am leaning towards him being done for in this. I don't know if he'll be killed. We may see what happens finally when a book is burned in this new conflict, which might be something different than previously. He might go back to being a soul. Who knows? But I do think he is going to suffer a fate that is basically being killed, just like how having your book burned was basically being killed in the original series. I think where he's present for this fight. Raikou wanted to use him and maybe set up something with Dahlia, because Dahlia's still going to be around. So we'll have to see if that happens. But I do think he was made just to pretty much be a red shirt a little bit in this fight. I think he's been given a good amount of respect. He was used to introduce Patty to the story. I've liked all this a lot. I've liked this arc quite a lot so far. And I think he's been used well, but I do think Raikou introduced him planning to take him out in this arc as well. So MBK says I could do discussions for the first manga. Yeah, that might be neat to do. I a few years ago, I tried a reread, and I stopped it around like 2/3 through the Millennium arc, which I should continue. And I don't know if I were to reread the series, if I would start from the beginning or if I would continue from that. But it might be fun to do discussions of the original series. Okay, thanks for tuning in as always, Atchbell Gamer. Yeah, Brago versus this new Zabrit brother is going to be really cool. We'll talk about that a little bit. That was one of the best fights in the series so far, Brago and Zillion, and then the whole original Zabrit team, which were all very fun. We had Lisa, who has these weird piranha plants that can talk and do magic for her. We had this guy, what was the guy whose design I really love. He was a weirdo. His name started with a J, and he looked like MODOK kind of, with just a big face and little arms and legs, and he could just like melt himself into acid, and then he could reconstitute himself after that. And I think he's still alive. And then we had a really big dude in a suit. So all the Zabrits were pretty cool. And I think Zillion was the only one that was actually killed in that conflict, though I could be wrong. But yeah, I really liked Zillion changing his form and getting that weird transmogrifying his arm into that weird weapon with the blades. It's like a blade whip. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Brago against an even stronger enemy with maybe similar powers, and I assume Lisa will be there as well to help. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think we might see Conchame and Coral Q have their own little fight as well. No, it wasn't Jill Nose, because Jill Nose is the magical girl good guy that did got the clones. It did start. I think it did start with a J. I could be totally wrong about that, but it was some random guy. So yeah, I think we might end up really having 3 different fights here, which are the ones we're in now with Zatch versus Bast and Day, Brago versus this new Zabrit brother, and then Conchame and Coral Q versus maybe some more of the traders. Jamoda, I think you are right. I think that was him. Good memory. I believe that was that guy's name. I love that weird little guy. So I think, the fights in this arc have been really cool so far. I'm really looking forward to more of that. And I think we've even gotten some cool story developments like mid-fight with learning about Patty, learning about her and the water dragon, seeing, how much Belgium EO wants to save her, getting moments with Belgium and Dahlia. And, I would predict... Oh, it was on TV Tropes, eh? I don't know why TV Tropes would even have a mention of that guy, yeah. I think that we will get something with Tia. I think we saw a little bit of a new ability from her in this chapter, but I do think we will get more with her. I think Raikou will give her kind of moment to really shine in this fight. And then hopefully the same for Conchame and Coral Q too, combat-wise. Coral Q has done plenty this arc, comedy-wise, so far. And even I can't help but feeling a little bad for Mechaloon, having been beaten so badly by Brago. But yeah, it'll be a shame to see Belgium EO go, if that is what happens. But it would make sense, because we're really getting into more extreme fights with stronger enemies. This guy, Bast, he seems like a really serious threat. I think it's possible that he might even have a similar power to Asta from Black Clover, where his sword can just straight up, Mamoto magic just does not work on his sword, and his sword can just negate Mamoto magic no matter how strong it is. Now, I think if that magic hits him, he would get hurt. So that, he's still very defeatable. But I think that might be his ability, which would be really interesting and not something we've seen before. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think Day probably does have stuff up her sleeve as well. I think we're only about halfway through this fight with them, if even that far. I think there will be, we're going to need to come up with some good strategies to work against these two. Or maybe get some help, we'll see. I think this guy's around here somewhere, right? I think he is. I forget what he's doing. We'll see him too, right? And I'll be able to use the puppet more. So, yeah, really good chapter, really good balance of everything. Really surprised me to, kind of introduce these Momoto hostages and these other card villains, and then just have the new Zebret brother just like kill several of them. I don't know if that hostage lady is dead. She might still be alive. They might be able to save her. But it was still pretty surprising and shocking to see. And even Brago seemed to be pretty put off by what he sensed from them. So I'm really looking forward to where the next chapter is going to go. We're going to have to wait 6 more weeks for it. Hopefully it won't feel as long as that the November, December wait we had to do last year. But I think a lot of us saw a break coming at this point. It's usually the usual 3 chapters on, 1 chapter off schedule, I think was what we had. So yeah, not too bad. And that's kind of a reason, if anything, for me to delay these streams a bit so we can have a little something in between. So what else is there to say? Not too much news in the Zatch Bell world. They, I think, successfully crowdfunded the watch, right? They're making a watch, a Zatch Bell watch that they crowdfunded in Japan, and it comes with like a Rashield cape for some reason, and that watch looked pretty cool. But I think that's the major merch news that's actually new. I think the theme park collaboration is ongoing. I'm not sure if that's ended yet. But yeah, this couple months haven't been quite as busy as some other months that we've had. But to revisit my prediction, I think I want to say I have 2 months left now. If people want to be nice, we can say break months don't count, and so it would be 3. But I don't know. Let's say 2. Let's just be real with it, And we'll see, right? There's a lot can happen in 2 months. We could get a new anime. We could get an English manga deal. That was the prediction. And if it doesn't happen, oh well, I'll still be optimistic about something happening in the future. So I want to say that that's everything for this chapter. We're approaching 50 minutes, which is a pretty average length for these streams. I don't know if there's any final thoughts. I think Patty fans are probably pretty happy with what's going on right now, despite the fact that we have not seen her. She's a pretty popular character, and just to hear about how she continued training and was kind of considered worthy of this water dragon. And then that's also pretty exciting for when we do get Patty in the future. When she does come in, she's going to be very strong, and I think she's going to be very cool. And Raiku's done, very well for most of the returning characters so far. He hasn't had anyone regress into a state from the first series. And I don't think we would have ever expected that from Patty, but here is just more reason not to expect that. Her to go back to, just being some sort of stalker for Zatch. Prediction bingo card for this year that isn't for the manga. I don't know if I could predict enough to fill up a whole bingo card. But, those are 2 things I am predicting, or at least I'm predicting one of those 2. Either a new anime or an American manga deal. I think more merch is a given. But I don't know, it's, in terms of stuff that we could predict, I don't think there's going to be a new mobile game because we had one that didn't do too well. So I don't think they would do another one. Even though it would probably once again be a Raikou supervised mobile game, which not Golden Memories, that was the other one. Tawakizu was not. That was a Toei one. Other than that, I would love to see more figures. That would be great. More official figures, Nendoroids and Figmas and what have you. But yeah, I think that is it for tonight. So thanks to everyone who came in, all two of you. Thanks to everyone who watches this in the future. If anyone comments on the video, I will do my best to respond. Fury is based on the anime, right? I probably, yeah. I think, that was back when Raikou was good buddies with Toei. And, I think they were, if anything, working on those games together. I think now, we have the first mobile game, Golden Memories, which was like purely a Raikou project. I don't think Toei was really involved in that. And then the second mobile game, Tawakizu, was like only Toei overseeing that and not Raikou. And when it came time for that game to end, Raikou got pretty angry that they like weren't shutting the social medias down because it was like messing with him somehow. Interesting stuff. But in any case, that is it for tonight. So thanks to everyone who watched, and I hope y'all have a good night. See you for the next chapter, chapter 13.